Yeah, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Fantasy Grounds from the ground up. And one thing I've noticed that I have been totally skipping out on our first two characters here is they're just a green box. So I was thinking, man, in fact, I remember thinking that when I did the Dragonborn, but then I did the Bard and I totally spaced it as well. But before we get started, I wanted to mention that my Great Big Game giveaway. We're here. We have made 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I want to give everyone ample opportunity to be eligible to win. So I think I've mentioned it before in this video series, but the way you're going to win is you need to join my Discord. I'm going to originally I was going to do the giveaway on July 1st. However, I've got a lot of things going on, and I don't think I could give it the attention I need to give the notifications and everything before July 1st. I mean, that's only in a few days. So what I decided to do is another day that's very near and dear to me is July 15th. And this is near and dear to me because this is when this Tasmanian devil came into this world so many years ago. 48 years ago. So anyway, I was thinking that's when I'm going to do. For my birthday, I'm going to give lots of 57 gifts plus 58 gifts, I guess, because I keep not including the copy of Fantasy Grounds Standard Classic Edition. I think I said that right. So anyway, now that I've got that out of the way at the very beginning of this video, when the majority of the people are actually still watching, because let's be honest, we don't always watch all the way to the very end, and usually when you hear someone say, okay, thanks for watching, we turn it off. So I want to get that out really quick. So for those of you who are interested, the way you actually add the image is, it's pretty straightforward. Just right here where your portrait is, you just click it, and then you can choose where you want to go. So you have an option of doing a portrait, and these are actually in the Fantasy Grounds Unity data. Portrait is where I copied that Taz avatar one. But you also have other options as well. You can download your own, or if we click on the bag here, we have Fantasy Grounds Unity actually comes with the Smitework ones. I don't think it has the fantasy portraits, which I don't think I like anyway. They're kind of blech. But they I keep closing it instead of just backing out. So double click. So the Pathfinder iconic portraits I do like. You know, they're your fancy schmancy Pathfinder ones. And then also there is the Smitework ones that come with this, which are also pretty nice. So where we have this guy being a Dragonborn, I'm just going to grab this first Dragonborn, and there we go. And then we're also going to do our dwarf, and maybe just grab the first dwarf we find in the Smitework stuff. I don't think we even gave it a gender, but there's a dwarf right there. This is going to be a female dwarven bard. So there you go. That's how you do that. Hopefully, for the remaining episodes and stuff, I will not skip that part, but I cannot make that promise. I just don't think about it. You can also change your token by clicking on this side over here, and if you have tokens as well, you can actually drag the token on there, I believe. So if we come into assets, go into data, let's say we wanted him to look like Aznik, and there you go. And now he'll look like a little demon instead. So you can do that. You can change what your actual token, or the portrait is what will appear up here, and this will be the actual token on the maps. Alright, so continuing on, we did our Charlatan Bard Dwarf, or our Dwarven Charlatan Bard, however you want to say it. So we are now on, I have absolutely no clue. So let's go ahead. We will start with backgrounds. And we will do just, we're just doing the PHP Deluxe right now. So now we have a criminal. The next is the class. And we'll go ahead and do PHP on this. Cleric. This is kind of interesting. Cleric criminal. And the race, which is going to be none other than a wonderful elf. Oops. Elf. Alright, so following our naming scheme, we'll just call it, him, her, it, doesn't matter, elf cleric, right? BLFCLERIC. So we've actually made lots of clerics in even my old Fantasy Grounds Classic series. And let's go ahead. This is an elf. We're just going to do it right up front so I don't forget. See if we have a nice elf. Hey, look, there's Mercy. Hey, Mercy. Oh, Mercy's an elf? I didn't know that. There's a halfling. Elf rogue. That guy, I would choose him, but he looks really haughty-taughty. I'm better than everybody. This is Athena, isn't it? I believe. Let's double check. Athena, look, you have a twin. So there we go. So let's go ahead and begin by doing criminal. Background is criminal, and this will give us 2 skills, deception and stealth. So then we have our cleric, which will tell us we need to choose. So we can't have deception and stealth. I am going to go for the cleric. I mean, it doesn't have to be a healing cleric. It doesn't have to be life domain or anything like that. So, I mean, we could choose not medicine. Maybe we have a druid in the party or a paladin, or are those 2 the main other ones that can heal? I might draw on a blank. I think those are pretty... Oh, a bard. A bard can heal as well. So we do even have a bard in our things here. So let's go ahead. Being a cleric, I think you would definitely be a religious... We're a religious criminal. And maybe insight. Those seem like pretty decent ones, right? Because we now have deception and stealth. And then let's go for something different. What's the Tempest domain? That sounds kind of cool. Talos, they include gods, lightning and thunder. I think that sounds pretty epic. We're going to be Tempest. So we're not the healer for this group in this case. Even though we're a cleric, we're not the healer necessarily. Okay, so let's go back to our main page, and we also need to do our elf, our race as an elf. And I'm going to choose, because we actually have sub-races, I'm going to scroll all the way down, go to sub-race, and we're going to do a high elf, because we are so high like a kite. Alright, so now we have that. We look like we get a +2 to Dex, a +1 to Int. Now, as a cleric, I believe, is it Wisdom we use as our primary? So if we go to spellcasting here, or actually even a better place to really quickly find it, if we go to, not elf, if we go to cleric and we go to the quick build, that really shows you really quick what you want. So wisdom should be our highest score, followed by strength or constitution. So wisdom followed by either health or how much damage we can deal. I think we're actually going to go for the damage on ours. So let's go ahead and I'm going to clear this. And we're just going to hit our die button here 4 times, or 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Actually, not too bad. And we got one really bad dump skill. And not sure where we want to put that. I probably would have wanted, I don't know. I don't think any elves have wisdom as their thing, but that's okay. That will help round out our character. So we're going to take our highest stat, which is a 16, and throw it in wisdom, because that's important to us. We have a +2 on dex. I thought, oh, high elves get intelligence. Wood elves get dex too, though. That's okay. We're gonna play with whatever we get. So I'm gonna take the second 16. We're gonna put it right here. So there's our two 16s. I'm gonna take the 15 and put it here because that will change it to a 17. That seems pretty good. And now we have a 14, 13, and 7. So we're going to have a dump stat. Applying that as our intelligence would not give us any benefit. It would go up 1 point. But yeah, I don't think I care too much about that. Let's have our dump stat. We're not very charismatic, although we're good at deception. So this will be our 7. And then we have a 13 and 14. I'm going to put the 14 here. And that will actually make this a 14 because it's +1. It's a rounded out character. It's pretty good, not terrible. It could be very interesting to play. But yeah, that's the fun of the game, if you ask me, is not have a character that is, oh, I'm a fighter, so you know I'm choosing this race because they're the best fighters. I'm choosing this class. Well, class is the fighter. I'm choosing this background because it's going to give me these benefits. You know, I think it's kind of fun also just to play a flawed character or someone that might have difficulties with some things. Obviously, we want to try and get our wisdom, the con, and the strength up where it was saying that it wants us to do, because those are for clerics. But those are just guidelines. You can actually, other than the wisdom, which is your casting ability, you definitely want that up there. The other ones are completely optional. And I could have, instead of going strength, went for pure dex and have a ranging type of cleric. You know, it's up to you. All right, so we have our hit die is a 8, and we have +2 to con, so that gives us 10. Excuse me. And I think that does it for our first page. So looking good. 13 minutes in and we've got the first page done. Alright, so now we have bonus proficiencies Tempest. Now I'm not familiar with this at all. At first level you gain proficiency with martial weapons and heavy armor. So let's just make sure that's been covered. Weapons, we get martial weapons, which is kind of nice. This actually could help us. So martial weapons, actually probably be, let's just do it this way. All and MARTIAL WEAPONS. It's kind of important to make sure that you're kind of mimicking what's already there, because if I just do martial weapons and it needs a space, the parser might not pick that up as any martial weapon. So it's probably scanning for the all in there and the martial. I don't think it really cares too much about the weapons, but it might. I don't know. And then we also get proficiency in heavy armor. So here we can see it's light armor, medium armor. I'm just going to go ahead and stick it right after medium armor. HEAVY-ARMOR, comma. So I think that is all we need to do there. We have one type of gaming set. I'm going to do, I think it's PLAYINGCARDS. I think that's the syntax. And then we have a choice for a language. I'm going to choose Celestial since we do have a deity. CLL. And I don't know if it's uppercase. Let's go double check. I think it is. So if we go to options, languages, CLESTIAL. Okay, we're all good. So CEL. So now I forgot how to spell. I'm drawing a blank. CL, is it ESTIAL? Celestial. It looks right. So there's that. Then the next thing I like to do is go make sure that all my features are things that, whether they are going to require having a Rob Tui type of thing in there or not. So we've got that one taken care of. That was pretty easy. Criminal contact. This is pure role playing. You have a reliable and trustworthy contact who acts as your liaison to a network of other criminals. You know how to get messages to and from your contact, even over great distances. Specifically, you know the local messengers, corrupt caravan masters, and seedy sailors who can deliver messages for you. So we have a great network. Don't we get... Oh no, that's rogue. I'm thinking, don't you get Thieves' Camp? But then that's with a rogue. All right. So then divine domain. We chose our divine domain, right? So we chose Tempest. So we'll go ahead and add that in here. Tempest. Close parentheses so we remember. Spellcasting, we already know. Here's the Tempest domain. I guess this is kind of that. Let's go check what it says. And I didn't even look at the spells. So first level spells, we get fog spell added to our thing. Now we want to look and see, folks, either. I don't see anything that says you can cast these as a cantrip or any funky things like that. Looks like it's just that. Then we have our features here. This is probably level 2. Nope, it's level 1. Oh, it's right there even. Wrath of the Storm. That sounds pretty cool. And here's our level 2 features, so we won't worry about that. So, spellcasting, Tempest domain. So I think we're good here. And then Wrath of the Storms. So this one might actually have something, I'm not sure. So also at first level you can thunderously rebuke attackers. When a creature within 5 feet of you that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to cause the creature to make a dexterity saving throw. The creature takes 2d8 lightning or thunder damage, your choice, on a failed saving throw, and half as much on a successful one. So that's pretty cool. I imagine it's a long rest thing. Yep. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier. Wow, what was our wisdom modifier? 3 times. That's actually pretty cool. So you can use it 3 times, minimum of once. You regain all expended usage when you finish. So that's actually kind of cool, because usually things like that is just like, yeah, you can use this once. So I might just put, I'm not 100% sure Rob Tui is going to have this. I don't know that the Tempest domain is from PHB. So I'm going to put in parentheses what should I say? Usage maybe? USAG usage, and we could say wisdom WIS modifier times, and then maybe long rest rest. Just something to give me an idea of what it is, so I don't always have to click on it, because that is something I don't know necessarily a lot about. So I would probably be like, yeah, I don't know what that is. Let me click on it, and I'd keep forgetting. So cantrips, we know one cantrip from the wizards, and we use intelligence for it. So that's something to keep track of. Elf weapon training, that is just basically your proficiencies: longsword, short sword, longbow, and short bow. That's all covered under simple and martial weapons, so we're good there. Keen senses, this is one, it gives us proficiency in perception, so let's just verify we have that. Perception right there, look at that, +5, I like it. And then trance. So once again, this is another thing with elves where it's purely a cosmetic type thing. I don't think there's any kind of thing you would do for this. But for those of you who don't know, what trance does is it actually makes it so that you basically get the effects of an 8-hour rest in 1 hour instead of 8. So you get a benefits a human does from 8 hours, but you get it in just 1 hour doing a meditation. So that's pretty good. I don't think there really was anything specific that we need to add, other than we need to remember this cantrip. We have a special cantrip that uses the wizard. So we want to do that. And I think that's good. So let's go ahead and move on. So our inventory now, let's go ahead and set our stuff. We have CP, SP, EP, GP, and BP. There we go. I'm going to keep that one up. So this is our inventory. So let's go look at our criminal background real quick and see what kind of stuff we got. Now, you can always go do these. What kind of speciality of a criminal are you? Am I a blackmailer, burglar? This is really kind of an interesting thing for a cleric. Someone that invokes the light, and they're actually pretty seedy. So we get a crowbar. So let's go ahead and pull up our items here. We don't actually get a lot. A crowbar, clothes, and a belt pouch. Alright, so let's do CROW. So here's a crowbar. We'll go ahead and throw that in there. We got a dark clothes, CLOTHES. CLOTH. I didn't do E. Clothes. There we go. And I'm not sure if there's actually one called dark clothes with a hood. Doesn't look like it, so we'll just put in common clothes, and we'll just modify it to dark clothes, not C dark. Dark. Oh, that's where the C came from. Clothes. Is there a space there? Nope. /W HOOD. So there's our dark clothes with a hood. Actually, it doesn't say it's a robe or something. No, just common clothes. And a belt pouch with 15 gold pieces. So we can go ahead and shrink this up apparently because we can't shrink down. Pouch. Pouch. And there we go. There's a pouch. Go and throw that in there. And we get 15 gold pieces. Alright, now let's go into our Clericiness and see what we get here. So I want to check really quick our dex. It's a 13 with no armor. So let's go ahead and look at what we get. So we get a mace or a warhammer. Now we are proficient in everything. I think warhammer is considered a martial weapon. Let's see if this will work for us. Weapons link. So the mace. There's the warhammer. Where was the mace? I didn't see one. Oh, there it is. So yeah, it's a simple weapon. I definitely think that our nameless wonder here. Oops, I need to do that. I'm gonna go back to inventory. Let's go and do a warhammer. I think that seems more like what I think she would have. Scale mail, leather armor, or chainmail. So let's go look at armor real quick. And this is a good thing to decide because, for example, depending on the armor, we get a. So some armor, as you can see, will only let you have 2 of your decks towards it. So if we were to go through this and look, we have scale mail, leather, or chainmail. Hello, scroll up. Hello, scroll down. Oh, that's as low as it goes. All right, so if we say chainmail gives us a 16 for AC, doesn't take any of our decks into consideration at all. We have to have at least a strength of 13. We have a 16, so we're good. We're at disadvantage at sneaking. And this is kind of where it's just weird because as a criminal you'd think we sneak, but apparently not. So there's the chainmail. We also had scale mail, which is this one, which is a 14 and allows us 2 from our decks. So once again, it's 16, still has disadvantage. It's a little bit lighter, but basically is going to, in effect, be the exact same thing as splint mail. So there's that. Now let's go look at leather. With leather, it is an AC of 11 plus our dex, which is 3. So that takes us to 14. So that one's definitely not better because the other 2 get us to 17. So the advantage here is we do not have disadvantage on stealth. If we were to upgrade to studded leather, we can get our thing up to 15, still below those 2. But I think our cleric is kind of going to be up towards the front. I'm going to not do splint mail because it's super heavy. I think we'll just do the scale mail. So go back to inventory. Scale mail it is. I mean, sometimes you might find that, you know, if I would have had a 5 on dex, I could have been up to, because it was 11 plus 5, that's 16. If I would have had studded leather armor, that would have actually had me without having disadvantage on sneaking, but it would have me as if I was wearing that heavier armor. So sometimes it might work out. Let's see, we have a crossbow, 20 bolts, or nope, or any simple weapon. So we're gonna go ahead and choose the, I'm gonna do a crossbow because I want a ranged. So we have, does it say it's a light crossbow? So let's go down here to light, grab one of those. Doesn't really matter which one I grab for the most part. I mean, maybe some of these will be different with different things. Why have I got the SRD loaded? I don't need that. We also need 20 bolts. And I wonder if it's called a crossbow bolt case. Yep, right there. Case crossbow bolts. Perfect. So now we have our crossbow bolts. We have our case to hold. Nope, we don't have our case to hold them because we didn't drag it high enough. So there's that. And then we have a priest pack, explorer's pack, shield, and a holy symbol. I'm going to go ahead and just do explorer's pack. I like the stuff it has. So here we go. Here's an explorer's pack. If we click on, I think under tools, it actually has some good things. I'm going to give her playing cards because she's proficient in it. And I usually will allow them to have whatever it says they're proficient in as one of their things. It's not this one. Must be under the adventuring gear. So we have arcane focus, druidic. Here's a holy symbol. She's going to have an amulet for her holy symbol, and she gets a shield. So here's another thing. So now with a shield, she gets a +2. So with her 17 or 16, now she goes up to an 18. Where with the studded leather armor and stuff, she just barely be at, what I say, a 15, 16, I think. So let's go ahead and give her a shield. A shield, an animated shield, why not? And there we go. So in past ones, I've shown you how you can actually put these in locations to make it nice and organized so you can drop it off. For saving time, we're not going to do that because we're already at 31 minutes and we still have the rest of her to do here. So there we go with that, and let's go ahead and go back to criminal real quick. In fact, I'm not even going to do this. This is just for the role-playing of personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. You just put them in there. As a... Her being a criminal actually kind of makes it very interesting. I wanted alignment. I'm going to say chaotic good. Just because she is good, but she feels, or it feels that it's the good that it thinks is the good, not necessarily what the law says is the good, which would be lawful good. Neutral good could also be, or no, lawful... Yeah, I think neutral good. I think so. So I think we're going to have her be chaotic good. Just because she has that mean streak in her. Alright, so we've already got our crossbow. We're going to go ahead and jump it up to 20 bolts. We have our warhammer. We have 2 spell slots. So I'm going to first do this guy, get it out of the way. Which is our cantrip. Because we get 1 and it uses intelligence, and this is actually kind of a good thing because I can show you how you do that. And we're just going to kind of pick one rather quickly. Alright, so let's go into the spells now. We'll go ahead and say 5e coding spells. There we go. And this is going to be a wizard cantrip. So this does not count from what I'm reading. It doesn't look like this counts towards the cantrips that we actually know as our class. So let's go ahead and wizard, and we'll just quickly look at these things. Acid splash, some kind of scorcher, alter self, animate objects, anti-magic, arcane eye, Holy cow. Oh, I didn't do cantrips. Erp. I was like, holy cow, they get a lot. There we go. Now we're into cantrips, which are level 0. So, that's considerably less. I think I might go for Mage Hand because I think that might have helped her in becoming a successful criminal. So what we do here, and we might get some errors and stuff. I don't know if they had some kind of update on this. So, oh, this is that token tool. Ignore that part. So let's go ahead and look here at the effect. Where is it? I don't think it's this one, is it? Actually, I guess it really doesn't matter because this isn't a damaging spell. If we were to choose one that actually has like damaging, let's go check real quick because Mage Hand doesn't actually, it doesn't matter whether it's using charisma or whatever because it's all the same thing. But if we say we did Acid Splash, right? Let's go and see if this has the information I'm thinking of. If we go here, so you can see it's a dex save. I don't know if this is a really good example either. Well, the dex save, actually that might be, because the dex save would be based off of your wisdom, which I think is this guy. We'd need to change it. Is it ability? There we go. So we could change this here to intelligence, and it's just cast. So this would make it so that it knows that this is actually using your intelligence instead of, what did we say it was? Wisdom? So that's how you would do that. I might also just, on whatever spell it is, I don't want this one. I think I'm still going to go with Mage Hand. But that's where I believe you would change that. If anyone knows absolutely for sure where you change it, feel free to let me know. So that will be our one. We're actually going to put in here that it's W-I... Z-A wizard C-A-N-T-R-I-P. So there we go. Does that say equals? Mage Hand equals. I don't know if I put that in there. Actually, I probably don't need the cantrip part because we're in cantrips. So I'm just going to put wizard. So I remember that that comes from the wizard. Alright, so now that we have that taken care of, let's go ahead and look at our spell casting and see what we actually get. Or we could even go to our class sheet and we can see right here. So we have 3 cantrips and we have 2 level 1 spells. Now the other thing to note here with spell casting specifically is whether I have known spells or if I know them all but I just have to prepare them. So let's go look because I can never remember all the characters and what they do. So if we come in here, Cleric table shows how many spell slots you have to cast spells of the first level and higher. To cast one of these you must expend a slot of spell higher. You prepare a list of cleric spells that are available for you to cast, choosing from the cleric spell list. So I was just saying choose from the cleric spell list. When you do so, choose a number of cleric spells equal to your wisdom modifier plus your cleric level minimum spell. Is that saying, sometimes it says this, when you choose a number of cleric spells equal. So no, actually we do not know everything. It looks like we have our wisdom modifier, which I think was 3. Yep, 3 plus our level, which would be 4. So that means we know 4 spells, right? Spell must be a level At least that's how I'm reading it. Some classes actually know all their spells and they just have to prepare them. So if we come back into actions, let's go back here and go to Cleric. So we know 3 cantrips. Let's get that one out of the way first. Wow, we're at 40 minutes. So we're not going to do the standard ones. If you want to know how to set up a healing potion, the standard actions, consumables and stuff like that, definitely go check out one of my previous videos. I don't want this to drag on way too much longer. So as an elf, we have dark vision, so we don't really need the guiding light, the light. Sacred Flame might be a good one. Spare the Dying, definitely be a good one. That one was the one that was mentioned to me that I had that on my Cleric, and Dutheon fell, and I didn't think about go Spare the Dying. So we have Sacred Flame, Light, Mending, Resistance. What's Word of Radiance? That sounds kind of interesting. That one looks pretty good. I'll take that one. Word of Radiance. Alright, and then what I say, we get 4 spells, and how many did we get prepared? So there's our cantrips right there. So we get 2 spell slots and 4 spells. Or is it saying we prepare 4 spells? Now I'm really confused. I could have swore Cleric was one that got all their spells, but you only prepare the ones. That's we're gonna treat it that way. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. Although I don't want to add all the level 1 spells because there's usually a bunch. So there's not too many. Let's go ahead and we'll just add them. There's that. There's that. There's that. There's that. Oh, grabbed the wrong thing. Create, destroy water. Cure wounds. Detect evil. I can detect myself. Was that detect? I started talking, I lost what I was saying. Detect magic was the last one. Detect poison and disease. Guiding bolt, that's a very nice one. Healing word. Inflict wounds. Protection from good and evil. Or evil and good. I don't know why you'd need protection from good. And shield of faith. So there we go. That will go ahead and give our character the thing, all her different spells. There we go. Whoops. And then, of course, because she gets to have, say, 4 prepared, we come in here and we say, all right, well, she is going to have at least 1 prepared healing type spell. So that was the wrong button. Cure wounds. So a lot of people actually think, oh, this one's terrible. This one's actually the good one. But the healing word, they might think, oh, I don't want a healing word. That's not that great. But a nice thing about it, it's a bonus action. It doesn't do as much, 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability. So that's 1d4 plus 3. However, it is a bonus action. I can still attack or something and just give a quick little hit me kind of thing for my other players, So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do Guiding Bolt because I like it. Inflict Wounds is pretty good as well, I like. And let's do maybe command. And there we go. Now we can switch that to combat mode, this to actions, and there we go. So like I said, there's more things we could do to this. We could add consumables. We could go add that if she's using her crossbow, technically she should be putting her shield away, which means for that turn she should have -2 to her AC. And we talk about that in other episodes throughout this series. There is also standard actions, you know, ready in action, hide, or not hide, dash, help, and something else I can't think of. So there are other things we can do, but I think this suffices, whatever, for this build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. We have the Great Big Game giveaway coming up on July 15th will be the actual giveaway. So be sure to join my Discord. The information hopefully will be popping up. If it didn't earlier in the video when I talked about it, it'll pop up right around here. Join it. That's all you need to be eligible. And you could be one of the winners of the 57 games or possibly a copy of Fantasy Grounds Standard Classic Edition. So that's it, guys. Once again, thank you so much. And until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.